The punishments in Tartarus, the deepest and darkest abyss of the underworld in Greek mythology, are known to be some of the most brutal and relentless in all of the ancient tales. According to the ancient myths, the punishments in Tartarus were designed to fit the crimes committed by those condemned to the abyss. The most infamous of these punishments were the rolling of boulders and the flaying of individuals spread-eagled on the spokes of a wheel. One of the most well-known punishments in Tartarus is the rolling of boulders. This punishment was famously given to Sisyphus, the crafty king of Corinth, who was known for his deceitful and cunning nature. According to the myth, Sisyphus was condemned to Tartarus for his deceitful and manipulative ways. His punishment involved rolling a massive boulder up a steep hill, only to have it roll back down just before reaching the top. This eternal and futile task was a fitting punishment for Sisyphus, as it reflected the futility of his deceitful actions in life. Another infamous punishment in Tartarus was the flaying of individuals spread-eagled on the spokes of a wheel. The most famous example of this punishment was that of Ixion, the mortal king who committed a heinous act against the gods. According to the ancient myths, Ixion attempted to seduce Hera, the queen of the gods, which angered Zeus, the king of the gods. As punishment for his audacious act, Ixion was condemned to Tartarus, where he was bound to a fiery wheel that spun for eternity, inflicting eternal torment and agony. The punishments in Tartarus were not limited to just the siblings of the Titans. The giants, who were also enemies of the Olympian gods, were condemned to the abyss as well. One such giant was Tityos, who was imprisoned in Tartarus after being killed by the gods Artemis and Apollo. According to the ancient myths, Tityos was a giant who attempted to violate the goddess Leto, the mother of Artemis and Apollo. In retaliation, the twin gods slew Tityos and condemned him to Tartarus, where he was eternally punished for his heinous actions. The punishments in Tartarus were not only reserved for those who committed crimes against the gods, but also for those who committed heinous acts against their fellow mortals. One such example is that of Tartarus, a mortal king who was condemned to Tartarus for his betrayal and deceit. According to the ancient myths, Tartarus was punished for his crimes by being placed in a pool of water with fruit hanging above him. Whenever he reached for the fruit, it would move out of his reach, and whenever he bent down to drink the water, it would recede from his grasp. This eternal torment was a fitting punishment for Tartarus, as it reflected the futility of his deceitful actions in life. The punishments in Tartarus were not only physically torturous, but also mentally and emotionally agonizing. Those condemned to the abyss were subjected to eternal suffering and torment, with no hope of reprieve or escape. The brutal and relentless nature of the punishments in Tartarus served as a warning to mortals, reminding them of the consequences of defying the gods and committing heinous acts against their fellow beings. In conclusion, the punishments in Tartarus were some of the most brutal and relentless in all of the ancient tales of Greek mythology. From the rolling of boulders to the flaying of individuals spread-eagled on the spokes of a wheel, the torments inflicted upon those condemned to the abyss were fitting retribution for their crimes. The punishments in Tartarus served as a reminder of the consequences of defying the gods and committing heinous acts against their fellow mortals, and the eternal suffering and torment endured by those condemned to the abyss were a testament to the merciless and unforgiving nature of the ancient myths.